Leah here from MagicByLeah.com, and in this video we're going to explore different effects of Mokume Gane. The first thing I did was prepare 5 different stacks of clay, following the method I used in my Rainbow Mokume Gane tutorial video. The link is in the description. And then I have the different tools here to imprint the Mokume Gane, including oval and heart-shaped Kemper cutters. I have a rippled blade, my regular blade, I have some handmade tools including a short blade, needles, I have this knitting needle tool that I got from Cater's Acres, the inkwell of a pen, and we'll just improvise and see what happens. For the first test, I have 2 different stacks rolled out in black, silver, and white. One I have very thin slices, the other one is a little thicker, and I want to see the different effects that I get from using thick or thin. I have the bottom with scrap clay to remind me what colors it is, and I'll start stamping on the other end. I'm going with a round theme here, so I'll use the oval cutters, and I'm using the same pattern that I did in my last video for the Mokume Gane jewelry, because I do intend to turn these into more jewelry pieces. If you find your cutter gets stuck, just shake it a little as you go down. Not only does it make it easy to push in and pull out, but it's also going to give you a better effect later because you're pushing more clay aside, and then when you squeeze it together, more colors are going to move. I'm going to squeeze it together and use a rolling pin to flatten out the top, or mostly flatten it out. It doesn't have to be perfect because you cut the top layer off anyway. We'll do something similar for the second one. For the next experiment, trying some Valentine's Day colors. So I have red, white with different pearls in. And notice I have, again, a thicker stack and a thinner stack. And for this one, I also want to see the effect of using bigger tools or smaller tools to see what gives more pleasant looking jewelry. Again, the scraps to let us know the color scheme. And since it's for Valentine's Day, we have heart-shaped cutters. I'm going to put bigger holes on one side and smaller ones on the other side so we can see the effect on the same piece, because the thickness may distort the effect, meaning if I do bigger holes on the big one, on the thicker one, and smaller holes on the thinner one, you don't know if the effect comes from the thickness of the slices or from the size of the tools. I'll try an upside down heart here since it came out. You just want to be careful when you have a shape like a heart that you don't cut the heart up with other hearts, because then you won't be able to see it in the final cuttings. And just to make sure the middle is usable, I'm going to go over it with a little one. I'm not going to smooth this out too much, we'll just kind of cut the holes out when we slice it up. Or just fill it in with your fingers if you want to. Here we have the same thing with thinner slices. I'm going to cut it in half so we don't mix up the two. That way we can do bigger holes on one and smaller on the other. If it comes out, try it upside down. It'll be cool. Just want to see what those dots do. It's all about playing around, exploring with different techniques until you find something you like, and then stick with it. So this is just me experimenting, but I'm letting you follow along. This way you'll get ideas for your own experiments. And I'd love to see what you come up with, by the way. So if you do anything that looks really cool and you post it on Facebook or Instagram, be sure to tag me at MagicByLeah, and that way I'll be able to see it. For this last one, I'm going to try just mixing up different patterns to see what happens. This is also a Valentine's theme, but I added some black and silver. So this is more like a darker Valentine's theme. I think we wrecked that one because the clay is still stuck in there. I put some of it back, but I'm just going to have to rely on the clay from the sides filling in. Maybe these tiny cutters are not ideal, not for something this thick. At this point they're all really warm because I did a lot of cutting and squeezing. So I'm going to put them in the refrigerator for approximately half an hour and then I'll slice it up and we'll see what we came up with. Here we have the Mokume Gane fresh out of the refrigerator. It is nice and chilled, so it'll be very easy to slice. Here we have the first experiment, thick slices versus thin slices of the layers of clay. And let's see what that gave us. We'll start with the thin slices. What I'm trying to see is the distance between the different colors, and when the slices are thin, I suspect the colors to be closer together. Let's cut another 2 slices. Let's see how that compares to the thick. As suspected, the colors are a little more pronounced and separated from each other here with the thick slices, but let's cut some more. Here we have the side-by-side comparison. Notice that these two came from the experiment that had the thicker layers, and the colors are much more distinct and far away from each other. The two on the left came from the thinner layers of Mokume Gane, and you have a lot more going on. It's a lot busier. So depending on what you want to do, these are two very cool yet very different options, even though everything was pretty much done the same way. For the next experiment, we have the large and small heart cuts on the same piece of clay, so let's see the difference. I don't know about you, but this looks like a complete and total mess. Maybe because it's upside down. You can make out the heart shapes, but I think trying to go with a specific pattern, I think it kind of got lost here. I think the heart is competing with the Mokume Gane effect, so we'll see what to make of that. And here's what the rest of it looks like. We did the same concept using thinner layers of color, and let's see if thinner layers come out better than thick layers. Here we have the big hearts, and as you can see, the colors are much better because they're thinner layers, but the hearts are pretty much lost. So I think I'm going to have to make a choice between do I want the hearts or do I want the Mokume Gane effect for something like this. Let's see what the smaller hearts look like. We have the same thing going on for the smaller hearts. As you can see, the colors are beautiful, but I can hardly tell that there are hearts in there because it's just way too much going on. And last but not least, we have this Valentine darker color scheme with random different shapes. Oh wow, I just did one slice so far. But notice that because I didn't punch hearts on top of each other, the individual hearts are definitely visible. Let's see if we still have that if I cut down a little more. So here you can see the hearts are still visible, the ripples are visible, but it is starting to get a little bit on the busier side. I'll see if I can just try to salvage the hearts. If not, I'll just play off of the colors. Now that I have my slices, the next step is to get creating. I think it's safe to say I got a little carried away with this Mokume Gane and wound up doing over 50 sets between earrings and pendants. And it also goes to show that sometimes artists have to eat our words, because you know how I said the hearts didn't come out? But I found that if I slice it diagonally, like you can see right here, not only do you see the hearts, but you also see the colors kind of transitioning between the whites and the pinks. Look how beautiful that came out. And here I have another one which I sliced in an angled manner so you can see the hearts in them. As you can see, the one on the right was sliced diagonally through the colors, and the one on the left was where the colors all just meshed together nicely. And here are 2 more done from the heart set. For the parts that didn't look as good, I found a trick that if I put multiple layers of scraps and then put it through the pasta machine so the pattern stretched out, I got really, really pretty colors that you don't necessarily see in the Mokume Gane sheets. I had a lot of fun with the black and pearl set. Here you can see 3 different pendants. I just love cutting them in weird shapes. So as you can see, I cut a shape and then put a very thick sheet of clay behind it with a craft wire loop. And look at these cool pendants. So I just did random shapes, no templates. I just looked at the sheet at hand and asked myself what pattern would look nice and just cut it out. And here's an earring set done from the same style. I did use templates for the earrings because they have to look somewhat similar in shape, otherwise you won't be able to wear them as a pair. Here's one that I did with the hearts. I used the same idea where I cut it diagonally through the colors so you could see different parts of the pendant focus on the different layers of color. And then I got really carried away and made a purple set because my sister wanted lavender jewelry. And for some reason it's looking blue on the camera, but this is a very deep purple color, and I love the way the pearl just kind of sparkles through. This one here is actually the same shape I used for earrings, but I put the metal loop on it to turn it into a pendant, so, you know, you could just do whatever you want with it. And then I took some leftovers from the blue Mokume Gane from the last video, and here you can see the pendant done in the same style. If you're interested in learning how to make these, go back to the last video where I show you how to actually go through it step by step. If you want to see more of the pieces that I did or are interested in buying one, be sure to visit my website, MagicByLeah.com/shop. For a detailed list of supplies used in this project, along with answers to your specific questions, visit my website, MagicByLeah.com, or click the link in the description. I will be uploading new videos regularly, so be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, but for even more bonus tutorials, tips, and so much more, join my email newsletter by clicking the link in the description or visiting my website, MagicByLeah.com.